So y'all are super fortunate. That's like the worst angle too, by the way. So you can't see my back. This is Miss Hill. Y'all probably see her lurking in the back of the classroom. She is working with us. I guess she'll be with us
until next
now
year,
until
December of 2020.
She is working on her master's in nursing education at Jacksonville State University. So she's doing her internship or preceptorship here with us. So we are super, super lucky to have her and very happy to have her here. So she chose the mental health portion of this content because she is a mental health or has been a mental health nurse now. She can tell you a little bit what she does now, but she has that in her history and I do not. So I said, oh, this will be good content for you to do so that you have firsthand experience. So let her take it away.
Yes, I'll take it away. Thank y'all. Thank you, Dr. Willis. Okay, this wonderful piece of paper that I just handed out, I want y'all to get into groups of 3. Everybody who has a piece of paper in the groups of 3, I want y'all to get behind the other person and whisper what's on this sheet to them in their ear. Right now? Yes. You got a piece of paper, I want you to whisper. You can do the 3 and whisper the paper. One person should have the paper. So one person should have the paper. Okay. One more. Okay, have everybody done it? No. Okay, okay. Okay, has everybody done it? Everybody done? Not very. Hold on, we'll finish Okay, everybody done? Okay, how do y'all feel? The person who was whispering, the person who was whispering to the other person here, how did you feel about it? Me? Just me? No, me. The whisperer. The Okay. The whisperer. Yeah, the whisperer. The whisperer. How did the whisperer feel? Wrong. Okay, don't worry. It hurt like scary. You know what? You typed in. Yeah. Me. The person who was listening to this, how did you feel? Great. Saying that to me. This is how people who have mental disorders feel every day. Okay? They have, some people have little somebody talking to them in their ear, if nobody around. I know you have seen that commercial where this man be sitting out on the porch, an elderly man, and the dog appears and then disappears, and then he appears back again. Have y'all seen that commercial? Do y'all watch TV?
Really?
On our DVR.
That's not good. Okay, mental disorder is a state of emotional, psychological, and social wellness, different in each culture and with each individual, influenced by individual, interpersonal, and social aspects. What do y'all think post-traumatic stress syndrome is?
Something that follows a big event, like a car wreck or experiencing something awful.
Reliving the
Stress that happens after
the event happens.
Response.
Memory that won't go away.
Okay. Do y'all think a woman who's been abused has post-traumatic stress?
Yes.
What about somebody who's been in the military during wartime?
Yes.
Okay. Right before I got up here, I had a panic attack. I started getting fidgety. My breath started going up and down. I started sweating. I'm about to take this wig off and throw it. And I know y'all feel panic attacks right before a test every time, right?
Yes.
So how do y'all manage y'all panic attacks before y'all take a test? Depression. If somebody is depressed, how do you think they manage depressed? Other than taking medication, how do you think you can manage depressed?
Eat.
Positive
I guess it all depends on the person.
Okay, that is so true. Sometimes people need medication. I don't care how much relaxation, sleep, watching TV. Sometimes people need to get on medication and stay on medication. Okay? Shame. Mental disorder has a shame behind it. A lot of people who have mental disorder, they don't tell their family members that they have a mental disorder. They keep it within themselves. They might be on medication that they hide from their family members. When people are depressed and they are taking medication and you know it as a nurse, I need you to encourage them to continue to take the medication as prescribed. A lot of people say, oh, I'm starting to feel better, so I'm going to stop taking the medication. You cannot do that because they'll go downward. They'll just automatically start feeling depressed, even worse than before they start taking medication. For example, I had a coworker this past week. I noticed something was going on with her. So I just called her and said, what's going on with you? You seem kind of flat. You're not talking, you're not joking. And she just said, I stopped taking my depression medicine because I felt like I didn't need it no more. You cannot just stop taking medication. You have to ask your doctor. And a lot of times, if the doctor feels you need to come off medication, they will wean you off slowly. But encourage your patients to take the medication as prescribed. Do anybody they want to talk about any family members, any friends who might have mental disorders and how they might cope with it?
I've got a friend who was diagnosed with bipolar, but it took them about 8 years to finally diagnose her, and she really hurt in relationships because she didn't know what was wrong with her. She thought it was depression, and it was how it was misdiagnosed, and it completely alienated her, made her feel crazy. Like, she went through a really bad time, and once we understood it, then, it was easier to handle. But it's understanding it that's the hard part.
Now, does she take her medication as she should?
Now she does, yeah. Yeah, and this sounds bad. She's a school teacher, so she has to regulate herself. If she doesn't, then, that's her career. So that pressure kind of helps keep her, from allowing herself to believe it's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I used to suffer from nephrophobia, which was the fear of crossing bridges. I would actually go into, like, I would squeeze the wheel so hard that I have indentations in my hands. I couldn't breathe. It was like a full-blown panic attack the entire time, but, I think what cured, for the most part, I still kind of sweat a little bit, but, what cured was going on a ship, like a big, ship. It was a cruise, and it was like, okay, I'm on nothing but water. It wasn't the fear of water, it was the fear of being trapped in the car if a bridge collapsed over water. And so it was weird, it was really weird, because in my mind, I see the bridges sway, and so like Golden State Bridge, I probably could never go across. The Mackinac Island Bridge, I had a fear of panic attack on the kids' trip. And I just did not want to go across. They wanted to walk across that bridge. But yeah, that's how bad it was. Now I can drive over.
Did I see? Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I suffered from depression bad about 2 years ago, and I isolated myself from my family, lashed out in anger. And, growing up, I was always very happy and outgoing, so I didn't think depression could ever hit a person with a personality like me. I was like, no, I'm too happy to be depressed until I became a victim of depression. And once I came up out of it, it was like, I wanted to be that person for anybody else that was depressed, because it's real. I didn't realize it was real until I went through it, but it's real. I mean, and it's there, and it was hard to come through, but you just want to be that person for people who is going through depression, to encourage them to just something as simple as just keep taking your meds, or just be positive about something, or just something to be on that positive side, to just help them overcome it.
That's true. I suffer from depression. I have multiple sclerosis, and when I first was diagnosed, my son was only 1 year old. And I went through a up, down, up, down. I didn't want to work. I was in a lot of pain. And just like Dr. Willis was saying, people who are in a lot of pain, they do get depressed. And I went through a lot. I hid it from my family members. I hid it from my friends until I had to start thinking about what I needed. And then once I realized what I needed was to get on medication and tell my doctor what was really going on with me. There is a stigma behind mental illness that people just don't want to talk about. But it's real. There's a fear of judgment. And I have friends to this day. I went on a vacation with one of my girlfriends about a year ago, and they saw me taking medication. They said, "You shouldn't take all that medication. You should know. You should be weaning yourself off of it." And I had to put them in their place. You don't know what I go through, so you can't judge me. Sometimes you just have to tell people how it is.
Well, it changes your chemical makeup in your brain. I mean, it's like, it increased serotonin, norepinephrine, just all those chemicals. And so you have to take medicine to regulate that. You can't function without it.
Yes, ma'am.
It's actually kind of piggyback off the death process. My mother, when she lost her youngest son, she had a psychotic break. See, she was in her late 50s, but she lived by herself. She was able to take care of herself. She lost her son, and within a week, she couldn't sleep. She couldn't take care of herself. She wouldn't eat, and she couldn't make a full sentence because of the shift that happened in her brain. And she got through it, but we had to put her in an institution for a little bit. Sorry. But she had to be medicated for well over a year before she could be. But that's just a different view. It's not something that you live through. It's like an acute type of mental illness.
And you are right. There is acute and there is chronic. You are right. Was there any more? And
This is something that's kind of recent. I'm really ADHD, and I have a real problem with if I even admit it. I had medicine before when I was in school. But in any case, with the stigma, whenever I finally did talk to the doctor again for nursing school, they referred me to a psychiatrist. And that's the thing now, is instead of, I call them doctor boxes, but instead of a medical doctor giving that type of medication like I was able to get before, now it's you gotta go to a psychiatrist. So I went to the psychiatrist's office. I had to make it, I say through the psychologist, but then there's still another delay to get to a psychiatrist. So that just adds to that whole mental illness, because I mean, it's invasive. They're like, do you have depression, or have you ever cut yourself? I'm like, no, I just can't comprehend a paragraph.
Right.
Like, let me get through the paragraphs.
But isn't that because of a lot of laws that are in place now?
I got it from a
Because
regular
some people
MD
were
before.
just getting, like, you were getting pills all over the place. Like opioid crisis, so now there's an antidepressant crisis too. And so general practitioners don't feel comfortable.
Some of them will and some of them won't.
Yeah.
I believe that if I went back to the doctor from before, that was a couple of years ago, then that's still the practice in that office. But yeah, it's already a hard
depends.
situation, and they're like, oh, go to a psychiatrist, and, I don't know, it's just, it was not pleasant, I guess, is what I was saying. I'd rather just shut up.
Steps of getting help, and it makes it a harder process.
Right, yeah.
Now, for that, my son has ADHD, and I think for children, it might be easier to get on medication. And once he got on medication, he went from a C student to straight A's now.
That's
Because
my
he didn't have that concentration that he really needed.
Right.
So,
That's my son. He's above average in everything. But if he doesn't have his medicine now, he is a totally different person.
okay, the next slide is for mental health by the numbers. 10%. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. Approximately 20% of the state prisoners and 21% of the local jail prisoners have had a recent history of mental health conditions. Mental health diagnostic. The DSM-5 is an outline diagnostic criteria. It standardized I need to get my glasses on. Non-menopausal, thank you, signs and symptoms of disorders. Those with mental illness is treated like criminals, and we all have discussed it in class how you have the stigma with mental illness. Approaches to mental illness is medication, community-based mental health, introduction to therapy, and more institutions. Impact of mental illness. Why do you think the economy is affected with mental illness?
Decreased productivity on your job.
That's one. What's another one?
The way people was brought up.
What you mean by that?
I mean, just things in their environment that could have led to something like that. I mean, like post-traumatic stress disorder or anything.
Availability of care is a big one. People aren't able to see psychology or therapists and things like
You think that they can afford it?
Or can't get there.
that. Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Did you think all insurance paid for it?
Because it's still.
Well, that's not. Because we're volunteer.
Okay.
But it's still expensive. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
If you're both.
yeah.
Why do you think the revolving door with psychiatric patients?
What do you think was?
A revolving door with psychiatric
Because
patients?
we get them in there, we get them medicated, we get them talking, and then we release them without any follow-up.
I think the problem is that there's too much medicating and not enough, like, getting to the underlying cause. So sometimes it's not an imbalance, it's something that happens that you just need to work through. Not something that can be medicated. That's how this works.
Did I see another hand?
Well, it's like you said, people start to feel better when they come off of it, and then they get bad again.
For therapy works the same as medication does. It's like if you go to the therapist and you get better, and you're like, okay, I'm done, and then you relapse in treatment, and you're right back where you started.
I think it also goes back to that shame
Yeah.
They want to get rid of it. They want to avoid that it's there.
A lot of times it's difficult, so somebody has a illness, when they're faced with one thing in life, they get treated for that one thing, that one medication, and then something else hits them, and instead of knowing what they can do as far as coping mechanisms, they're just, okay, let's up your medication. So there's not enough resources, like she said, of getting to, like, good coping education, good coping mechanisms, things like that.
Do you think a lot of people do extra medication with alcohol and illegal drugs when they have a mental disorder?
Yes.
Why do you think they use alcohol?
It's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap, what's available.
It's also a depressant, so they drink and go to sleep. And
Well,
then,
Isn't that it also causes them to connect with other people, other alcoholics and drug addicts?
That's true.
Connection.
A lot of times they start doing things like that before they even realize they have no illness.
That's true too.
They just know it helps. But I will say too, there's not enough doctors. There's not enough psychiatric doctors. There's not enough psychiatric beds. So I mean, it's hard to even get back in the door, much less for volumes. I think that, my personal opinion, that's the biggest problem. Is there's not enough places. And even if you have to be on medicine, sometimes you have to be on psychiatric medicine just like you have a acute headache for a minute. Sometimes you need that medicine to even work through what you need to talk through. If you can't get an appointment to talk about what you need to do, it's just too much.
That's true.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a psychiatrist. They get you in about 15 minutes. They get their request, they give your meds, and you're done. So they're just like offloading patients to mental health facilities and not dealing with problems like this. You definitely have to try them out. I think they give up. Sometimes you have to, see.
So you believe that everybody needs to search for their own psychiatrist or a therapist that is suitable for them?
Yes.
That's what you believe?
I do.
Okay.
Well,
Some
Okay,
people
if
might
they're
not feel
not
comfortable
period,
with talking to them.
Yeah.
well, I'm trying,
And if you don't talk to them.
because there is a stigma, that's why I didn't want to say anything. I knew if I did. But, I think once you really do start with therapy, and you're really in it, and I mean, you go to the groups, there's free groups, there's all kinds of resources too that people just look. You can Google it yourself
Okay.
and sacrifice and go. You learn that you might need someone that you don't totally agree with to bump over certain things. So, I mean, you got to find someone you're comfortable with. That doesn't always mean you're going to, I don't know, it doesn't mean you're going to love them. They're not going to give you everything you want. So, when you ask if you think they should, like, pick somebody you like, or, I don't know. I think
Compatible.
compatible and someone that you feel like you are progressing with.
Yes.
And that might change over time. If you're having to see the same person every 2 weeks for 17 years, there might be a problem.
That's true. That's what I think. Say that again, I didn't hear you.
People don't have access to well, the health departments don't even have enough options to offer to people that are, there's just not enough options.
Some of the
That's
insurance
true.
billing codes are set up in 15-minute increments. So they're just like, well, you had 4 increments of 15, well, that's all insurance will pay for, we'll see you later.
And with my whole situation, it was 3 weeks just to get an appointment to that place, and then I went one day this week, and then it's going to be another 3 weeks before I'm able to meet with a psychiatrist. So what I started almost 2 months ago, I still haven't been able to finish.
I'm piggybacking off of what Ashley just said, like, the process to get the help that you may need is such a strategic process that, back to the illegal drugs and everything, like with alcohol and street drugs and stuff like that, you have that available to just numb whatever problem you have at that time, instead of, waiting such a long process to get that help. You have that help available right there, and it's just what's there.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say, if there are resources out there, the first thing is acknowledging that there is an issue, because there are mental health authorities which you don't need insurance for. They mandate medicine, they'll give you the medicine for free. You just have to qualify under their qualifications. And there's every county has a mental health authority.
That is true. I work as a case manager, and I deal with a lot of mental issues with patients every day. There's not enough funding for mental health. That's number one. And the patients who really need the help, they don't have no insurance. And I have to if they don't get to the psychiatric department of where I'm at that particular hospital, I have to discharge them. Then I'll call like a 1-800 number, and they'll come up and see them. But before they can actually get help, it's sometimes a month, 2 or 3 months out before they can get help. Before those 3 months are up, they are back in the hospital, and this time it's worse. Either they have tried to commit suicide, or they're talking about suicide, and then they have to admit them. So the resources is not as available as people think it is, especially for people who don't have insurance or lack of insurance.
It's hard to get insurance if you can't work because of the mental illness.
That's
So
true.
you're trying to struggle through.
Yes, ma'am.
I will say, usually what I do is if you don't have any insurance and you come in and try to assist you, when it comes to the mental health patients, sometimes it's hard to get their background information because they can't remember it, they don't know it, or it's just very outlandish. But I mean, like I said, there are the resources, but it's like most of them do have a disability. When you say medical records, they don't SSI and they get their Medicaid. But like when you dig in, like sometimes I check and I was like, well, this is what they told us. And it's all you can go off of.
And you got to think about a lot of homeless people. They come in the hospital, they have a lot of mental issues, but they might say somebody's name is John Doe, but they tell you their name is Stephen Smith. How do you supposed to know who they are if they can't even give you the right name? That's one issue. There's a lot of stuff you have to think about when you can't just look at one little thing, you have to look at the bigger picture. Ongoing care, we have already pretty much discussed the ongoing care. Mental illness require ongoing treatment, financial impacts, resources, and family support. Family support. Do you think all families support people who have mental illness?
No, I don't think they're educated. Like, I had to, my sister's bipolar. She just got diagnosed recently. I had no idea. Like, she would just, like, get up, go downstairs and go to her room, and I'd be visiting. I live an hour away. I'm home, and she just goes downstairs. You know, I would get angry at her for that. I'm like, I'm your sister, I'm here visiting you. But I didn't understand that was just how she dealt with things. It was just to isolate herself. So I had to educate myself so that I wouldn't be angry and like make her situation worse by me being angry at her. So I think family support, if your family's educated about things, we should educate our families more about mental health. Because I mean, it made me so mad at her. And I shouldn't have been. You know, I should have just loved her through that. But
Don't you think lack of family support is one of the things that contributes to sometimes mental illness in the first place?
Yes and no. Okay, say somebody have a mental illness, and this happened to one of my patients. He has bipolar, and he jumped on his nephew. Okay, beat his nephew into the hospital. The father came home and beat the person who had bipolar. Okay, when the father beat the man who had bipolar, he tore all his kneecaps up, ruptured stuff, and he told him he could not come back and live with him. So how much do you think families are supposed to put up with somebody who has mental disorders?
if they're not,
But did they know he was mentally?
Yes.
Okay. So why didn't they just call somebody? Anger was easier released for the parent, I guess, in that moment. Didn't they call somebody?
we
Yes.
have to look at your family. Some people, I mean, some people would call authorities, other people just handle it.
Right,
You
that's
don't
true.
call the cops because
You don't know what, family members might get shot because, the police don't know how to handle mental health. They don't
That's
address mental health as if it's mental health.
I know from my experience, with my mom, I couldn't help her because I was close to her. So she was very she thought I was trying to hurt her, she was lashing out at me, and it was a dangerous situation for me to take care of her. And I was doing nothing but harming her by trying to help her, so we had to get her away from anybody that she knew before she needed to get help.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of the adults that I work with, some of their families just literally drop them off at a home because they couldn't handle it. If they would say it's too much, and then now they would be on a routine, like say they come and visit once a month or once a week, and they have a certain routine that they do with them, but they will literally tell you, I could not handle their mental disorder. Like they couldn't just handle whatever, and it would just be as simple as bipolar or just anything.
Well, it's just the point as well, if the person knows they have bipolar and they're not doing it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's an all aspect.
That's what they're saying, really, yeah.
But
It's not just women.
I hear a buzz. You good? I keep hearing buzz.
If your mind's not right, nothing's right. So sometimes someone is in a very mentally sick place, you know, you gotta find help yourself.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's a very, you can't help yourself when you're having to do that, you're in critical care. You know, like somebody has to help you do that. If there's just not enough mental health people to be able to take care of all these people, like, you know, it should be considered trauma just like somebody, you know, with a AAA. You know what I mean? So it's just that. There's just not enough.
Okay, what do you think nurses can do to help?
Talk to your patients.
Education, talk to your
Be an
patients,
advocate.
Recognize it.
Encourage them to go along with prescriptions.
say that again,
Encourage them to take their prescriptions like you're supposed to.
and what did you say?
Being an advocate.
Be an advocate.
Noticing it.
Noticing it.
Sending it, I'm giving them consult, trying to help follow them up, case management.
Listen.
Just sometimes listening, like if you can tell someone is going through something, PTSD, depression, anxiety, or whatever, and you can tell that sometimes just sitting there, and just saying, you know, just talk. What's going on? Talk to me. Let's listen. Let's talk. I mean, sometimes you just gotta be there for somebody, even if you're not, if you don't even know them, but you know they're going through something. Just say like, look, what's
Okay, you think you should give judgment?
No, never.
Someone is always going through something. I don't care who you are. Someone is always going through something. Even when you're like, oh my God, my life is falling apart. Someone else is going through something worse. And you just got to be open-minded to everything and everyone.
Say somebody who is homeless come up to you, you're a nurse, you're taking care of y'all graduated, y'all passed your state boards, and you get this homeless man in, and he stinks, and he got regular clothes on, and he just acting crazy. How will you handle him? And you think he has an underlying mental disorder. How will you handle him?
You treat him with the same respect as you would a regular patient.
Unbiased care.
For starters.
Bias care.
Sometimes care. Try to calm him down, talk to him, figure out what happened, figure out what the needs are. Why are you acting like what happened for you to act like this? Can I help you?
Correct.
I think, like, I think something that was like, you may see someone going through something and you don't think it's a big deal, but maybe your plate's just bigger and they have a small plate. You know, like, maybe someone's just going through something, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so upset about that. Like, I've been through way worse. You know, like, we can't think like that. We have to be like, well, this is what they can handle and what they can't handle. This is their plate.
Right.
That's what it,
That's a good point. I like that. The next one, we're going to start talking about delirium and dementia. Delirium is acute. Give me one good example why an elderly patient will come into the hospital who do not have dementia, who might have delirium.
UTI.
Correct. I mean, y'all know that's right. Y'all good. Delirium is more acute. Dementia is slow acting. It's gradual. Delirium is confusion, decreased awareness, rapid onset, associated with medical condition, ETOH. Hey y'all, anybody ever been drunk? So when y'all are drunk, do y'all think y'all have delirium?
Yes.
Why do you think you have delirium?
Don't know what I'm saying.
You don't know what you're saying. Give me another one.
I mean, you make a fool of yourself, you're just, you know.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Okay. A person who's confused, do you think you should keep a Foley in them, IV,
No.
tubing,
No.
unnecessary tubes around?
No.
Tell me why you should not keep all this around.
Choking.
Because there's no risk of pulling out.
There you go. Have you ever seen somebody pull out their Foley before?
Oh.
I'm gonna see it.
Oh, yes. Yes. When somebody has delirium, you reorientate them, protect the airway, provide fluids and nutrition. If somebody's confused, how will you keep their head if they can tolerate it? If they lay in bed and you feeding them, how will you try to position them in bed? Correct. I'm hurting. I'm in a lot of pain. What will you assess?
Their pain scale?
Pain scale? What else will you assess? Where? Will you put somebody who's confused in restraints?
No.
Tell me why you would not put them in restraints.
I guess they're gonna do more to be agitated.
They can hurt themselves.
What if they're confused and violent? Or aggressive?
First, if you put somebody in restraints, you have to have an order by MD. That's number one. Number two, you're going to try to, before you put somebody in restraint, you're going to try other stuff. You're going to call the family for them to come sit with them. You'll give them a 24-hour sitter that the hospital might pay for, or you will try to give them medication before you put anybody in restraints, because restraints will kill somebody. Okay? That should always be the last resort when somebody's confused. Yes, ma'am.
Does every hospital have something like delirium boxes or delirium protocol?
The hospital I work in, if you're confused, we call the family for them to come sit. If they cannot come sit, we get 24-hour sitters. If for some reason the hospital says we out of budget, we'll put them in ICU where they have more one-on-one care. Did I answer your question?
You may be having delirium.
No, we don't.
So, I don't know if every hospital,
No.
you know, I don't know what's hospital specific versus like universal.
Every hospital is different.
It's like crossword puzzles or, I don't know, it's stuff to like interact, I guess.
No, I'm gonna tell you now. No, not every hospital has
There's
those.
the community service project.
The hospital I work at actually is paying non-family members to come in and sit with their mental health, suicidal mental health patients. They don't have family members to be considered.
Say that again. I heard
I think
observers. Content observers, correct. Is there any questions about the presentation that I just gave? The main key is read, read, read. What did I just tell you how to do? Read, read, read. And study, study, study. Okay.
I didn't